And the Trump administration accusing the New York Attorney General of mortgage fraud. Letitia James faces possible prosecution after feds claim she falsified loan applications. Eric Shawn is live in the New York City newsroom with the latest. Hi, Eric.
Hi, Dana. Well, she was the prosecutor who won a $454 million civil fraud case against President Trump. Well, now the Trump administration is turning the tables on her for the very same thing. New York State Attorney General Letitia James now faces a criminal referral from the Federal Housing Finance Agency, accusing her of fraud to get lower mortgage rates. James, whose public salary is $222,000 a year, has obtained home loans for several properties with claims that are apparently false. In 2023, papers show she claimed a house in Norfolk, Virginia, as her primary residence. That qualifies for a lower mortgage rate. But you know, at the time she's been serving in public office in Albany, New York, that's 500 miles away. She bought another building with her father as co-signer, calling herself his wife. And the referrals also show that she bought this brownstone in Brooklyn, New York, but misrepresented the number of units in it. That lowered the mortgage rate there, too.
This is really for James, the very case that she most famously brought. She insisted that these technicalities matter and that the powerful should not be given a free pass. Well, that bill has come due in this case. She's going to have to deal with this filing.
Well, James's office issued this statement saying, quote, "The Attorney General James is focused every single day on protecting New Yorkers, especially as this administration weaponizes the federal government against the rule of law and the Constitution. She will not be intimidated by bullies, no matter who they are." Well, by law, James' primary residence has to be in New York State, not the Commonwealth of Virginia, for her to even serve as the Attorney General. She must have lived in the state for the last 5 years before the election, so we'll have to see if she lived in Virginia or New York, or if this even qualifies her to stay in office.
Fascinating. Thank you, Eric.
Joining me now, Ohio Congressman Jim Jordan, House Judiciary Committee Chair. Congressman, now, given Letitia James's crusade against Trump, where no benefit, by the way, in that case, no benefit accrued to Trump, and choose this novel application of a fraud statute, shouldn't an investigation go forward here on a fairly straightforward issue?
Well, it sure seems like, and this may be the biggest irony I've ever seen in American politics, that she's now, it looks like she's engaged in the same thing she charged President Trump with. I mean, turns out you can't have your principal residence in Virginia and be the Attorney General of New York. Turns out you can't on a mortgage form say that your dad is actually your husband, and you also can't say that you got a 4-unit property that's actually 5 units. Those are the 3 things that it looks like she did over a long period of time, and yet she had the gall to go after President Trump. You got to be kidding me. So, yeah, I think this is real. We'll see. Her comments so far, she's been kind of quiet. Of course, she does a typical thing the left always does. The left will you know, they'll always accuse us of what they're doing. And the other thing they always do, the left will tell a lie. Trump did something wrong. Big media will report it. Big tech will amplify it. And then if you tell the truth, they call you names. And that's exactly what she did. I think she called President Trump and his administration bullies for simply pointing out that it looks like she lied on these forms, and she did it to get better terms and a better rate on the loans. So she was doing it for personal gain, and you're not supposed to do those kind of things.
Yeah, well, these are allegations, and we'll see what happens. But, I mean, she did. No one is above the law, so she should be welcoming any investigation into this. And, Congressman, Attorney General James is now asking for money in the midst of all this. She's launched a fundraiser in the form of an event next Tuesday calling for contributions starting at $500, going all the way up to $18,000, which is the maximum allowed by New York state law. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, this is you know, I guess typical activity from Letitia. Remember, she campaigned on that she was going to go after President Trump. This was a classic case of pick the person and go find the crime. Now, I don't think there was any crime there, but she did. Maybe the appropriate penalty for her, if the DOJ prosecutes, maybe the appropriate penalty for her is $350 million fine, because that's what President Trump had to pay, for goodness sake.
The New York Attorney General is now being referred for criminal prosecution, accused of fraud, essentially, lying to banks to get preferable interest rates, saying she lived in one state when she lived in another. Even suggestions, Shamika, that she pretended she was married to her father to get a better interest rate. So just tell me about this case.
She was the one who prosecuted.
Of course. Letitia
Trump.
James is the Attorney General in New York who was elected on a platform of getting Trump, and she came up with these trumped up, excuse the pun, charges to prosecute him in New York. What's the latest on that case?
You know, if Karma is a bitch, her name must be Letitia Karma James, because we can't stand this woman here. She has been a thorn in Trump's side. It seems as if she was elected simply to cause him trouble, to wreak havoc. So many times here in the United States, they make black women, the Democrats make black women the face of this foolishness. It happened with Letitia James. It happened with Fannie Willis in Georgia. Here, this is what happens. Now we see Jasmine Crockett being the face, always having something to say, always complaining, always playing the race card, as if we look to black women to be the superheroes and save everything, when if you look at the black community alone, they have torn it to pieces. Black women. So, you know, I don't understand why they continue to push them out, but I think it gets the people all excited. I am really looking forward to see what happens with this case. I want to see Letitia James go down. The bed that she, or the grave she dug for Trump, I hope that's the one that she has to rest in, because she has just been a terror this entire time, and she was only elected to do this. So I know more things will continue to come out about this case, but I'm hoping that she actually goes down behind it.
Karma is a bitch. After all the bad things he did, Karma is a bitch. A thorn in someone's side. Her constant complaints have been a thorn in his side. To wreak havoc. The storm wreaked havoc on the city, leaving behind significant damage. Bill has come due. After years of ignoring the issue, the bill has finally come due. Call you names. It's hurtful when people call you names just because of your appearance. In the midst of all this chaos, she managed to stay calm. Crusade. He started a crusade to fight against climate change.
If you enjoy this content, please consider subscribing to my channel to stay up to date with future videos. Thank you for watching.